Kaido was right when he concluded that Haki is the most powerful force in this world. Looking back at chapter 1047, Kaido, while repeatedly smashing his club into Luffy's face, shouted, "Look at Roger! He didn't possess any devil fruit power, yet the whole world still bowed at his feet. Such tremendous obstacles can only be overcome with Haki." Then there's Imu, who didn't seem frightened when the legendary rubber fruit awakened in Wano through Luffy. But when Imu sensed the wave of Haki echoing from the past, the one that Joy Boy sealed inside a rope and called his strongest Haki, it shocked Imu, rekindling some past pain. His body lost its stability, causing him to collapse to the ground, drenched in sweat. The list of great pirates possessing Conqueror's Haki and developing this power to its peak, as enumerated by Kaido when he saw Luffy, includes Rox D. Seabeck, Roger Whitebeard, Odin, and even red-haired Shanks. Luffy has only just begun to develop his Conqueror's Haki to become the most formidable in the world. He needs to train it to an even higher level, one that, when activated, can make strong individuals like Vice Admirals, who possess very powerful Haki themselves, instantly fall and roll on the ground. Just notice how Don used Haki to defeat the giant Kashi, and you'll understand. It's more than enough to prove that Joy Boy's Haki is at a supreme level, that Luffy, metaphorically speaking, is just a novice trying to reach, or more humorously, it's like baby Haki. Saying this is like author Oda throwing pirates of this era like Shanks and Blackbeard into the trash. Shanks is truly powerful with a level of Haki not inferior to Roger's, so at what level is he compared to Joy Boy? In this video, we will analyze the data referring to the strongest Conqueror's Haki in the world, and we'll also discuss a new Haki-related skill in One Piece, absorption. In Chapter 1123, we received an important revelation regarding the comparison of Shanks's Conqueror's Haki to Joy Boy's. Specifically, the two giant captains confirmed that the Haki Emeth released was even more powerful than red-haired Shanks. This comparison is made to show that Joy Boy is the true master of Conqueror's Haki. Currently, Shanks' Conqueror's Haki might not have surpassed Roger's, let alone a pirate like Joy Boy. I'm not saying this to diminish Shanks' power or spirit. He is truly formidable with his level of Conqueror's Haki, demonstrated through his Divine Departure attack that knocked out Kid and Killer, two extremely strong supernovas with a combined bounty of over 3 billion. That's enough to understand how powerful it is. However, the two giant captains witnessed everything, so their assessment is 100% accurate. If you don't believe it, look at this data. In Wano, we have a scene where Shanks uses his Conqueror's Haki to transmit from the sea, spreading like energy. It disperses like lightning to travel through space, reaching the ears of Admiral Ryokugyu. Shanks even uses this Haki to communicate like a language that only those designated can hear. Ryokugyu heard Shanks' voice, so he realized the red-haired crew was offshore, warning that if he made any rash moves, Shanks would block his escape route. Luffy, inside the island, could also observe the battle between Ryokugyu and the 9 red scabbards, but he couldn't recognize who was speaking, only sensing the familiarity of this power. This demonstrates that Conqueror's Haki has a special type used for long-distance communication, like telepathy, which only the strongest can perform. Somewhat similar to the ability to hear the voice of all things that Luffy used to communicate with Momonosuke when Kaido knocked him off the platform for the second time. The difference in comparing the levels of Shanks and Joy Boy is this. When Shanks activates his Conqueror's Haki, Lucky Roo and other crew members report that the new recruits on the ship can't withstand it and have all fainted. Initially, we thought Shanks' Haki must be the most powerful at this stage, but now we see that's not quite right, because the Haki that Joy Boy sealed in the rope is even more advanced. Joy Boy allowed Emeth to use it when he wanted to protect himself or others. It's as if this type of Haki operates according to the mind and wishes of its possessor. When Emeth releases it, the Haki directly targets the Marines on the ships pursuing the Elbaf and Sunny, causing the Marines on board to show signs of weakening, foaming at the mouth, and collapsing. The 5 elders are also affected by this Haki, and anyone summoned by the real Demon Circle is also thrown back to their original position. But the Straw Hat crew members remain conscious. They don't suffer any mental damage or foam at the mouth like the Marines. This shows that Joy Boy's Haki stream, sealed for over 800 years, is still extremely powerful, like a form of power that can be controlled according to Emeth's will, rather than indiscriminately devastating everything around. Clearly, Shanks cannot yet control the range of influence of his power on his crew members. While trying to convey a message to Ryokugyu at a distance, he unintentionally harmed his comrades. In terms of long range, Joy Boy is no less impressive. with one activation splitting the sky in half, expanding over a large sea area, with giant pitch-black lightning. If we evaluate it, it's unimaginably powerful and very well controlled by Joy Boy's spirit. In other words, Haki is like an energy source. The human body is the machine that emits energy, and the control of that energy is the user's caliber, determining how powerful it is. Shanks is currently confirmed to not be as strong as Joy Boy from 800 years ago, as I said at the beginning. This comparison is not meant to diminish Shanks' spirit, but only to show how incredibly powerful Joy Boy's Haki is. Luffy currently doesn't compare to Shanks, let alone Joy Boy. He still has to train his Conqueror's Haki a lot to become more dominant in future battles, and especially to control his Conqueror's Haki so it doesn't affect his allies. We've known about this control since Marineford, where Luffy initially shouted to release his Conqueror's Haki, causing many Marines to faint and thus saving Ace from the Executioner's blade. After training with Rayleigh, Luffy learned to release his Haki more appropriately, but only at a low level, not as high as the legendary pirates of the previous era like Odin, Whitebeard, or Roger. Kaido including Luffy in this list is only to affirm Luffy's potential, as he's still quite inferior to them at this stage. Awakening a devil fruit is a supplementary power that amplifies punches, but it doesn't determine everything. If Luffy's strikes didn't use Haki, they would probably have been incinerated by Kaido's magma, becoming nothing but burnt ash. Through this comparison, we have enough basis to conclude that Roger, Whitebeard, or even Rock's D. Zebek were not strong enough in terms of Haki to surpass Joy Boy. But one thing that puzzles me is why God Valley disappeared, and it wasn't due to an ancient weapon. I hypothesize that it was due to the Haki power of these legends, the synergy between Garp, Roger, Rocks, Whitebeard, and even Garling that caused God Valley to be crushed, shattered into small pieces. Over time, the sea also submerged this island, erasing it from the world map. People say that a shot from an ancient weapon can destroy an entire island, so Haki power strong enough could have a similar destructive capability. Haki is also like an energy source, similar to the blast of an ancient weapon. Boom. An island is shattered, with Lelouch as evidence. In addition, the power of devil fruits is also a factor worth considering. For example, Whitebeard was known as the man who could destroy the world with the Quake fruit. The structure of Marineford was severely altered by this legend's power, which is enough to understand. There's another very important piece of data you can't ignore: the absorption of Haki power. As confirmed, Joy Boy's Conqueror's Haki can be sealed, in other words, transferred into a rope, turning the rope into a weapon, with an extremely destructive energy source. I've also explained that Haki is energy in the section above. Suppose the container is not an inanimate rope, but a human body. Then what? This is very worth pondering, isn't it? Author Oda once said that he is a hardcore fan of the Dragon Ball manga series. He based many things in the One Piece world on Dragon Ball, including a type of power called Kai, which is like a measurable energy source, similar to how electrical current can be measured in intensity. The body of each character in Dragon Ball is an energy container, and Saiyans use a device to count Kai, with a higher Kai count indicating greater strength. Ki can be transferred from one person to another to increase their power. Ki is also used as an energy source for attacks outside the body, with more Ki usage resulting in stronger techniques. Don't confuse this Ki with the Doriki index measured by Cypher Paul assassins. Doriki is just a basic point scale, while the thing similar to Ki in Dragon Ball is Chakra in Naruto and Haki in One Piece. Because Ki values in Dragon Ball can be measured, while Haki in One Piece cannot, the power comparison is not perfect. For instance, Luffy's ability to unleash power to defeat Rob Lucci is called unreasonable. Returning to the focus on Haki, I believe author Oda also wants to use Haki as an energy source that can be transmitted to different containers. Instead of being stored in a rope, Haki could be transmitted into someone else's body to make them stronger in a battle. It's similar to the power of devil fruits, with Gecko Moria being the clearest example with the Shadow fruit. When possessing many powerful shadows, the container's skills become stronger and more refined. To achieve this, the shadow container must have extraordinary endurance. For example, Luffy's limit is 100 shadows. Gecko Moria, on the other hand, stuffed in all the shadows he collected, and because he couldn't endure it, he became oversaturated, vomiting shadows when punched by Luffy. When Joy Boy can transmit Haki into a rope, energy can be transferred into shells to make containers called dials. I believe that in the future, Haki will be transferred into Luffy's body to create more explosive power. And of course, that's when Luffy can't defeat the final enemy. If author Oda made Luffy the strongest pirate, far surpassing even Joy Boy, defeating the world government with his own power, it would be unreasonable. While Joy Boy was a very strong pirate, as we've seen, in terms of both Haki and Devil Fruit, with perfect control, he was still defeated by the world government. Luffy needs the support of his allies to be able to stand against the powerful forces of the government. What helped the government defeat Joy Boy, regardless of his ancient weapons and extremely powerful allies? I personally think that even Imu himself is not a match for Joy Boy in a one-on-one fight. Why don't you look at Imu's reaction when he saw Joy Boy's Haki? That's what I wanted to say about the new level of Haki transmission. What do you think about this content? Leave your opinion in the comments section. If you liked this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to receive more One Piece content. See you next time. I'm Amy Chan. We'll meet again on the Grand Line.